Hello friends, how are you doing? Welcome again to Verified So. Let me today handle the matters job. How soon do you get to start working once you land in the United States? What are you supposed to do? And one of you asked this question yesterday, and I saw it very good that we discuss it today, that people may have a clear picture of what happens. Now, to begin with, let me start way back when you are filling your form DS-260. Towards the end of the form, there is a part that requests or talks about a certain number called the Social Security number. And it requests you if the USCIS can get access to your information for them to start processing what we call the Social Security number. And as a matter of fact, you should check this box. You should allow them for them to access your information to process your Social Security number, because this is very important. Why have I started with the Social Security number? It's because, first of all, what is the Social Security number? This Social Security number, what makes it very important is because it is the nationally accepted PIN or identification for the purpose of taxation. So all the United States citizens, all the permanent residents or the temporary residents who are willing to work in the United States, they must have this Social Security number for the purpose of taxation. No single person working in the United States lacks this number. So when you allow the USCIS to access your information for them to begin processing your Social Security number once you land in the United States is very key. Now, if you successfully go through the interview and you get a visa, then you plan for relocating. And once you relocate, at the point of entry, you will clear with that point of entry. After finishing with your clearance, then the Social Security number immediately begins to be processed. And it takes just around 7 days for you to receive your Social Security number. And how will you receive your Social Security number? That's why it is very important that you use your host's address. It is very important that you get a host, because that host's address that you put in the DS-260, it is the same address to which they will send your Social Security number. I hope I'm clear. So after 7 days after landing in the United States, you will receive this card containing your Social Security number. But if you don't, you can go ahead and apply by filling the form SS5. But for the green card lottery winners or selectees, immediately they land in the United States, the Social Security number begins to be processed. And that is if you selected in the form DS-260 that you allow the USCIS to access your information for the processing of that PIN. Now, let's come back. How soon do you land your job when you land in the United States? So once you obtain that Social Security number, it means that now you can use that identification to acquire any job that you qualify in. And since you are new to this land, it means that the jobs that you can qualify at the instant, that is after you receive your Social Security number, could possibly be the manual jobs. And there are plenty over here in the United States. The manual jobs, they are very plenty. You can decide to apply for jobs in a warehouse or in a manufacturing industry. You can decide to apply maybe in a garage or in a car wash. These manual jobs, and there are many. You can also go for a training of around 2 weeks for the certified nurse assistant. That is the CNA. And then once you get that training, then you begin your job. So how soon you can land your first job depends on how soon you receive your social security number and how open are you to any kind of job. You know, some people are very choosy, and those choosy people, they don't succeed, especially when you land in the United States. You should not be very choosy on which job that you get. So for manual works or manual job or the casual jobs, they are plenty, and they are plenty, and they are plenty. And they are some of the best jobs that you can start with as soon as you receive your social security number, because they are very readily available and they are very easily obtained. That is how soon you can get your first job. But let's come back. Another question is, how soon can I get my dream job? Now, this depends on what your dream job is and if you have the relevant skills. And this point is very important, that your education system or your professionalism is based on your country and not on the United States system. You might be having a master's degree from your home country, but the education system in the United States is totally different. The same degree that you have from your country is totally different and may be unacceptable in the United States. So you might be a doctor with your degree and you are exercising that position, that profession when you're in your country. But when you come to the United States, don't expect that you will continue with that profession. No, it does not go that way. You might be an engineer and you have your degree and your documents. But when you come to the United States, since the education system in the United States is very different, your documents might be invalid. So don't be very choosy. But I have this very important point and very important aspect to discuss here. If you are now in the process of waiting for your second notification letter, or you have gotten your second notification letter, or you are a selectee in the DV Lottery 2023, because that is the current DV Lottery, what are you supposed to do for you to land your professional job? If you have a profession and you have the documents, the academic documents to that profession, what you are supposed to do as you're waiting your relocation is to try and evaluate your documents using the World Education System, the WES, W-E-S, World Education System. You submit your credentials for evaluation. And what it happens, when you submit your documents to the WES.org, once you submit and make the necessary payment, a professional from the WES will go through your documents one at a time and get the equivalence of it in the United States. And that means once they go through your documents and they produce you the equivalent of your education with regard to the United States education system, then you can apply using it for the jobs in the United States. But if you don't evaluate your documents using the World Education System, then your documents, they are invalid. You have to apply for the evaluation with the WES.org. You submit your documents and then you make the necessary payment. And in the United States, it normally takes around 7 days, but in Canada, around 35 days. And then get your documents evaluated, and an equivalent of your documents with regard to the United States education system will be mailed to your address. And then you can use these evaluated equivalents of your document in applying for your jobs, the job in your professional field. That is the only way that you can do to get a job that is in line with your profession. Make sure, as you're waiting to relocate to the United States, that you evaluate your documents using the WES.org and then get the equivalent of your education with regard to the United States education system. And once you get it, then use the evaluated documents in applying the job in line with your professional career. Thank you guys for watching this video. Stay tuned for the second part of this video.